Hello, and welcome to Up Close on METV. I'm Charles Clapsaddle, Station Manager for Manatee Educational Television, and we are very honored today to welcome Dr. Carol Prosfield to talk about what's happening at the State College of Florida and the many wonderful things that SCF continues to do. Dr. Prosfield, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to see you. You're everywhere in this community, and we are so thankful that you've taken a few minutes to talk a little bit about SCF.
Well, thank you. The pleasure is always mine, and I'm everywhere because I see you everywhere.
Well, Dr. Prosfield, you've been the president of SCF for, are you going into your 11th year or through your 11th year now?
Into my 11th year, yes.
But you've been with the State College for over 20. And that's a remarkable achievement, and then moving into being the president.
Well, I never had any idea that I'd be here this long, and quite honestly, when I started, I never had any idea I'd be president. I think I'm the luckiest person in the world to be able to do this, and to be here at this time working with these students.
Well, thanks to your vision, leadership, SCF continues to thrive and develop and grow and nurture, and we want to talk a little bit about the many great things that are happening at SCF. But first of all, I'd like to know a little bit about the students that you're serving. It's a wide collection. Give us a snapshot of who we're serving here at SCF.
Sure. We have an incredibly diverse student body in terms of age, race, religion, every background you can imagine. We have students from around the region, nation, and the world who are part of our student body, and it seems that it just continues to grow and become more diverse year after year after year after year. Also, a lot of different interests. Students are coming to us right out of high school who don't really have a clear idea of what they want to do yet. We have adults coming back to us who are already in a career and looking to change their career or go further in the career that they have. So we're trying to be responsive. And that's what's driving us these days is what do our students really need? What does our community need? What does our nation need in terms of a ready workforce?
Well, clearly one of the great things that SCF does, aside from this wide variety of student population, is that right here at SCF, you have your own collegiate school.
Yeah, we're serving about 25,000 students a year. Some of those are those collegiate students on this college campus. We also have a collegiate school on our campus in Venice that is 9th through 12th grade, and that's just getting off the ground. I think we're in our third or fourth year there. But this one has been around now, I think, for 12 or 13 years, and our students are doing really well. It's still an A-graded school. They're going to institutions, some here, some choosing to stay here to study for an AS degree or a baccalaureate degree, but they're going to colleges and universities around the country. They're living their dreams.
And I must, even though we're here at this beautiful Braden campus, which we'll talk about in just a moment, SCF is very fortunate to have two other campuses, a beautiful campus in Venice, as well as a very beautiful campus on the Lakewood Ranch area. Tell us a little bit about those schools.
Sure. On our Lakewood Ranch campus, we offer our AA degree program, but our main focus there is our health sciences, and that's where we have our Human Patient Simulation Center.
Right.
If you haven't been there, or if your audience hasn't been there, that's worth a visit. It's really quite state-of-the-art. And our students have the opportunity to work with these human simulators before they go into their live setting working with live human beings. And it gives them a level of confidence. It gives them an opportunity to try and succeed before they go in and they're in an environment with people that could be much more intimidating.
Well, the nursing initiative that you've undertaken out there is wonderful. We've had the opportunity on several occasions to do the pinning ceremony. it's a remarkable achievement, and in this day and age, nursing students are really needed, but you offer more than that because you offer the BS in nursing as well.
We do. We offer the BSN and we offer the LPN to RN transition program. And for, I believe it's the third or fourth year in a row, we're in the top 4 in the state. That's of all public and private colleges and universities.
Wow.
In terms of the success rate of our students on the licensure exam, when our pass rates are always in the 90 percentile, or not the 90 percentile, in the 90% of passing, which is far exceeds the state average and exceeds the national average as well.
What a great achievement. And that has a lot to do with another little side issue I want to talk is your faculty. You have a wonderful faculty at all of your campuses that really give everything to their students. Talk a little bit about the faculty and why it's so important to SCF.
Well, I'd really like to focus, going back to the previous question and tying it with this one, is we were devastated by Hurricane Ian on our Venice campus. And our faculty, even though some of them lost everything, they lost their homes, they lost their vehicles, they were on campus helping students try to get back on their feet. Even today, we have faculty who aren't in their homes yet, and they're back helping the students to be successful. That's the faculty that we have at the State College of Florida. They're here because they care about the students, they want to see them succeed, and they truly put themselves second. And it's just, it's humbling to see day in and day out.
Right.
That's the faculty that we have.
Well, and it is a remarkable fact. We've had a chance to work with some of them, and they're all very dedicated, not only to their students, but to the college themselves. One question I want you to expound upon, if you may, is the value of education. For a long time, there wasn't a value placed on education, and it was put in the background. But now these are changing, and people realize that there is a value and an importance to education, higher education. Can you talk a little bit about that and how SCF fits into that equation?
Sure. Over time, the cost of higher education has really grown exponentially.
Yeah.
At your 2-year community and state colleges, that hasn't necessarily been the case. We still remain incredibly affordable. At the State College of Florida, we haven't raised our tuition in 13 years. So we're very affordable for students. However, sort of the national dialogue is around, is the higher education worth the investment? And I am here to say, at our institution, it is more than worth the investment, and it's an incredible rate of return for our students. And there are 5 things that happen when they pursue education beyond high school. Number 1, we know there's data that will show that they will earn more money during the course of their lifetime.
Right.
And because of that, number 2, they'll be able to amass more assets, more overall net worth. Number 3, they're far more resilient to changes in the economy, recession-proof, if you will. Number 4, they have the ability to reinvent themselves throughout their career. They're not pigeonholed into one particular type of career. And number 5, they're the critical thinkers and the problem solvers because they're practicing that skill every day when they're in the classroom. So there's still a great value to higher education, even though nationally I think now for the first time it's less than 50% of the people think it's worth the investment. But I'm here to say it is definitely still worth the investment.
So, Dr. Prostel, one of the key things that keeps a college, innovative and moving forward is the addition of new programs, new services that are available. Can you talk a little bit about what's happening on the campuses at SCF?
Sure. In keeping with our commitment to be here for our community and how they need us to be responsive, we received the approval to offer 2 new baccalaureate degrees this year, one in elementary education and one in exceptional student education. And we landed on those 2 because we talked to our superintendents and we asked them, where are you having your biggest problems recruiting and getting new teachers? And those were the 2 areas where we heard they were having the biggest struggle. So we launched those programs this past fall. The elementary education program is coming along quite well. Exceptional student education is much more difficult to recruit students who want to go in that because it's a very specialized type of field. But we're working on it. We also added some new AS degrees, which we're really excited about. One is business analytics, and that goes to that sort of critical thinking and problem solving that brings value that our students can bring to their employers. Hospitality and tourism. We're trying to link the entire piece of hospitality between what they do at the technical colleges
Right.
and what USF is doing.
Right.
And then we're trying to put this space in between, which is more the business aspect of it. And then the third one is our music production, which is really exciting. That's taken off very quickly. Next week we have our grand opening of our music production lab.
Oh, good
so
for you.
students can record their music. They can do all the making of videos related to their music, the whole thing. It's kind of exciting, and we have a lot of students in that program already.
And if I must say, your music program here at SEF is extensive and of such high quality. People come for concerts all the time. Dr. Robin Bell, who your staff and one of your faculty members, wonderful person, very talented, and brings a lot of great attention to the music programs that have developed here. Plus, you do so many other arts-related things. It's almost one a week or one every couple of weeks. Between your theater and your music program, art programs, you really have an active arts and drama.
We do. We have over 50 productions a year. And I
50?
think it's catching on. I was at a jazz concert last Thursday, and our faculty have been really good about bringing in renowned guest performers to play with them. And we had almost, one of my dreams is to have our entire 830-seat theater filled for one of our college concerts, and we were pretty close.
No, that's terrific. Yeah. But it is a real benefit of the college to have that type of exposure, not only to the students, but to the community as well, of all the very, very talented people that you have here at SEF.
We are, and we're very lucky because this community has been supportive of us. We were most recently able to open our studio for the Performing Arts, which is a smaller theater, about 150-seat theater. And because we have that, along with our Black Box Theater, our Neal Performing Arts Center, we were able to host the Music Symposium. This is a big deal that goes on with all 28 colleges every year, where the best of the best from every college comes to perform, and they win scholarships and prizes. And so it was just such an honor to be able to host that. We're the first time any community college or two-year college has ever hosted it, and it was hosted here.
Well, and I think that's a great thing, and I'm sure you'll be hosting it again in the future as well. Another great thing, and I'll just mention it briefly, is that the SEF participates in is the Brain Bowl, which I think is a wonderful opportunity, brings out the very best students to participate. And if I remember correctly, SEF has done pretty well in the Brain Bowl.
We have done pretty well. This year we went to the national championship again for the third time in a decade. And our lead player, Ursula, was not only the top individual scorer in the state of Florida, but she's the top individual scorer in the nation.
Wow.
She's amazing to watch this young lady play. The breadth and depth of her knowledge is just mind-blowing. And I would hate to have to be against her in a Jeopardy competition.
Well, one of the key things that you have brought to this, to the State College, is an engagement with the community. It's always been very important for you. You encourage your staff and your faculty and your students to participate as well. Tell us why you think that community engagement is such an essential part of the State College policies.
Well, a couple of reasons. One, I think that's how we hear about what our community needs and what some of those gaps are that we can fill. But also, we like to say to know us is to love us. And if we're out there and we're interacting and we're letting people know who the State College of Florida is, and we have a lot of new people moving into our region all the time.
We do.
So we need to make sure people know that we're here for them, that it's not just AA degrees or AS degrees, but we have a coding academy that we're working with children who are in first grade all the way through past retirement who want to learn how to code. So there are so many opportunities here in our lifelong learning and non-credit as well as our credit side of the house that really anybody who is looking for, whether it's personal enrichment, degree attainment, or just a class or two to keep intellectually engaged or to improve their position in their employment, we're here for them.
And that's part of that policy you have for open access. Is that correct? And you encourage people at all levels, to come and look at the many things that are available through SEF for classes or, just to sit in a few classes and learn what they want to do.
And we have more senior citizens who are joining us and coming back and auditing classes, which I think is fantastic. They bring a completely different dynamic into the classroom. Some faculty tell me that they really enjoy having them there. It's kind of an interesting dynamic. You know, the young kids are looking like, wow, that person has lived a lot of life. They know a lot more than I do. And the older ones looking at the kids going, oh, they're so smart so soon. You know, they kind of make each other better by having that dynamic in the classroom. So
I think that's important too. I mean, it's an interaction that's happening there. And you have, over the years, under your leadership again, is encouraged that open access, you know, to bring people in who normally would not think about going back to school or taking a class. And it's a very important asset for the college.
Sure. I mean, one of our major initiatives looking forward is being more thoughtful and successful, and I guess bigger, in reaching out to middle school children. The earlier we can get children to see what possibilities are for them, and that going to college is something that's attainable, the more we can do to help them make good decisions as they're going through high school, because they know there's something else for them after that. You know, it's part of the reason why we decided to start our collegiate school some 13 years ago, is the research showed that by the time a child is in 6th grade, their support network and that child have already decided whether there's any whether they have any possibility of going to college after high school. And we started our collegiate school to show that we can change that mentality. Not only can we get people to know that college is in their future, if that's what they choose to do, but that they can do it and they can be prepared. They're going to graduate and they're going to be prepared to go to college and then to be successful after that. So now we want to expand that and just invite the community on campus.
And I think that's an important thing. And working with the families is probably, you know, a critical part of that equation, is to show families that perhaps, you know, who have never been to college or through school, that their child or their children can succeed, and there's more opportunities that can be available.
And not only just for the children, but for mom and dad too.
Sure.
You know, some of the greatest moments at commencement are when you have mom and dad or walking, and then their child is also graduating at the same time. That doesn't get much better than that.
That's going to be a wonderful feeling for the family involved. But, you know, if you can, Dr. Prosel, you know, there's so many other things that you're involved. You mentioned your faculty at the Venice campus, working with the Hurricane Ian people. What are some of the many other things that your school accomplishes in reaching out to the community?
Well, we have a lot.
I know you do things with Meals on Wheels. You do things with other, you know, nonprofit organizations. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. All of our athletes, part of what they do is outreach. We have our basketball players who have taken it upon themselves to provide maintenance in the African American cemetery that's been neglected for years and years. And so they've gone over there and they've taken it under their wing to beautify it and bring it back. And I mean, there's so many things that students are doing every day that are helping. We have a student right now who's working with a colleague of mine whose husband is not well and needs care, reached out to us to see, do you have a nursing student who might be willing to help? And so we contacted the nursing department, and they had several who said, yeah, we'd be willing to help. And that's, again, sort of the culture of the college, the nature of the student body that we have. But as the college, we're trying to put in programs that are going to support people that need that little extra help. And we've had our summer bridge for a long time. That's working with our crop students and other students to give them sort of a little extra start over the summer so that they can get some credits under their belt. They can have a sense of success, and then they start in the fall. That's good. We have a C Campus grant now that we use to help students who have children and they're struggling with childcare costs, to help them to be able to stay in school by offsetting some of that cost for them.
And these are just a few of the many, many things that SCF does. But it also talks about the quality and the character, not only emanating from the leadership of the State College, but from the students as well, because they can see that, you know, by doing positive, good things, it's better for everyone.
You know, and one of the other things I really admire about the students is they have a good balance in life. And they're working hard. You read the resumes of some of our outstanding graduating students and you look at all the things they're doing in life, but they're still taking time to have fun, Yesterday, our veterans group put together the first national dodgeball championship. Had 10 teams play.
No kidding.
I got to be a referee. It was a whole
Good
lot of
for
fun.
you.
Yeah, I just, those kind of things you need to do just to let off a little steam before finals. Creates teams. They have to put together teams that play. And so there's, they're still taking the time to be a whole person and not just burying themselves in all the other things that they're
In
doing.
the academics, it becomes a life experience as well. And I must mention that you mentioned it. Your veterans program here at SCF is one of the most outstanding programs in this entire area, in the region, because you really outreach to veterans and encourage them, to succeed.
Well, we're really proud of our veteran students, and they're such a tight-knit, cohesive group, and how they support each other is just remarkable. But they're still engaged with the college community. Even had one of them convince me to play in one of the dodgeball games yesterday. I am not a very good dodgeball player. I learned I'm much better as the referee.
There you go.
But I didn't get too badly hurt, so that's
that's a good thing. But what a great thing to do, and I can see that becoming like an annual event.
I hope so.
But aside from the dodgeball and things like that, SCF is known throughout this community as having a lot of great events, signature events, if you will, that are a big part of it. The event that you sponsor with the foundation, with the State College Foundation, major event that everybody likes to attend.
Well, we love our Avenues to the Future, which we hold on this campus. It's outdoor, it's casual. We get to hear from students. We typically have music. So it's more of a relaxing, get to know the State College of Florida and just enjoy this beautiful environment. This coming weekend, we're doing a similar event. It's called Evening Under the Stars. I think it's in its 34th year.
Really?
Down on our Venice campus. And we have the Pops playing, and we have fireworks at the end of the night. And it's just beautiful. And when we have people who can sit in the outfield and buy a simple single ticket, or we have tables up front, and it's just a beautiful evening. We also have something new we've tried in the last couple of years is the Mavericks Rhythm and Rave.
That's right.
And the idea is that we bring in bands, we have different activities, people can come, but we have our recruiters there as well. We have our HR people there too, looking for people who want to come to work. And it's just a lot of fun. It's just meant, again, to get people on campus to see what we are, what we can do, and maybe there's a place here for them.
Well, and I would suggest, Dr. Prosfield, that, people come out and support these major events to support the college, to be there to show their not only support, but how they can best help the college move forward. And whether it's the foundation or your Rhythm and Rave or even some of the athletic activities, people are here because they want to support the State College of Florida.
What's interesting? Students often say, why would somebody I don't even know want to give me money? And so it's kind of a foreign concept for some of our students, and we let them know that this community cares. They want you to be successful. They want you to be a productive member of the community, and so they're looking at it as an investment in themselves, because as the community thrives, everybody thrives.
And that's a good point. The college, from the very beginning days of MJC through MCC to the State College now, everybody wants the college to succeed because it's such a vital part of this total community. But looking ahead, under your leadership, there's been so much that's been accomplished. What do you see? What would you like to see develop as you move forward?
Well, we have a parish campus, as you know. We have 77 acres out there. We have a request going to the legislature this year. We hope we'll make it. We've raised about $1.1 million. The foundation is looking to raise about another 2.5. And then we're looking to get the balance from the legislature so we can get that campus off the ground. We know there's a huge growth in East Manatee County, and we want to be able to be there to serve that community. We're also looking at, in today's world, workforce housing is such a critical need. We're finding it difficult, just like every employer is, to get people to move into this area. because of the cost of housing. So we're really looking at how could we utilize some of our land in a partnership with a developer to create workforce housing that could house our students as well as maybe some of our recent graduates who are in healthcare fields or law
Sure.
enforcement or any of those kind of public service careers. So we're on the way of that. We're going to be talking more with our board about it coming up soon, and then maybe we'll be off to the RFP and see how we can get started.
But that's really a win-win situation. We were out there when you broke ground on the parish site, and that was, a while ago. But you're exactly right. The parish area is going to continue to grow and prosper out there, and to have a SCF campus in that area is really going to be a big benefit for the entire region. It really will be.
We don't necessarily have the money to do the construction, but we have the land. Yeah. And for many developers, that's attractive. And not only do we have the land, but we have the ability, because of how we're structured as an entity in the state of Florida, to do our own permitting, which makes a huge difference to developers as well. So we're kind of an attractive thing, we understand. Yes. So we'll see how that goes.
and you mentioned it about dealing with the legislature. During your tenure and the vision that you have brought to SCF, you've had a wonderful working relationship with our legislative delegation, and that's very important to be able, not only for funding, but for guidance and education issues that the State College faces. Tell us a little bit about that relationship, that partnership with the legislative delegation, why it's so important, and what you would like to see the delegation move forward on.
Well, we're really lucky in some ways because a number of our delegation either graduated from MJC, MCC, or SCF.
That's true.
Or have had children who have graduated from our institution, or both. And so they have a connection with us in some way. And the delegation has been very good to us to help us put together what's feasible, what can we really get done with them. But with their help, we built a library. We built a science building here. We're building a science building down in Venice right now. We've remodeled our old library to become our 26 West Entrepreneurism Center.
Very
we also,
important.
with their lobbying support, got the money from the Department of Economic Opportunity to actually launch the programs in there. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful partnership. We're working right now for a couple of things. One is parish. We want to get that off the ground. But the other thing that's happened over a period of time, probably over 30 years or so, is this disparity in funding between different state colleges. So if you look at the State College of Florida, for example, compared to the 2 or 3 colleges that are closest to us in size and program mix, we're getting about 60 cents on the dollar compared to what they're getting to support their students. That's not right for our students. Yeah. So we've had that conversation with our delegation. We are very supportive, and we have had very good support from Senator Boyd, Senator Gruters. All of our delegation are empathetic to the issue, but a couple that are in power to help do something about it are very supportive of what we're trying to do to get caught up. That's a game changer for State College of Florida.
It would be.
We could sustain our increased enrollment in nursing forever, in perpetuity, if we could do that. So it would make every difference in the world to this local community on how we could expand some of the most widely subscribed programs that we have.
And I'm sure that Senator Boyd, Representative Robinson, are very, very attentive to the needs of the State College and would work forward to moving that forward. With the best of luck, they have to go through so many other.
They do, and there's a lot of competing needs in the local community even. So we know that it's a balancing act for them, but they've always been very good to work with and very helpful, and we've been able to do a lot of things with their support.
As we kind of wind down, Dr. Prosel, there's a couple other little items that we want to talk about. And one thing I want to bring to the attention of our viewers is the fact that we've got graduation coming up just a few short weeks away. You have 2 a year, and they're always well attended. And one of the key things that everyone should know is that over the years that you've been doing graduations, I'm not sure how many hands you've shook, but I'm sure it's thousands. I think we're trying to add that up, but it's thousands of hands of people. It's truly a remarkable experience to graduate. to get your degree, and you have such joy in seeing each and every student come up on stage, get their certificate, get their picture taken, and get a handshake from you.
Well, I take it as a personal responsibility when that student walks across the stage to try and put them at ease, tell them to enjoy the moment, get them to smile, and take a nice picture. And I try to chat with every student, which of course the people pushing the line are not always happy about when I'm trying to say something to every student, because it goes a little slower than they might hope for. But I think it means a lot to me, and I think it means a lot to that student when I take that moment. But it's such a moment of joy for the whole campus. And we, in December, brought commencement back onto our campus.
Right.
We were at the convention center for a while, which was a beautiful, big, spectacular ceremony. But because of the number of graduates we have, tended to get a little bit long.
Sure.
And so we were getting feedback from students that they weren't so happy with how long this was taking. So when we brought it back to campus, we have our Neal Performing Arts Center so we can make much smaller groups of students that are graduating. So on commencement day, for example, we start in the morning with our collegiate school graduating. And then we have what we call a walkthrough, and that's for students who might have physical disabilities or might have other issues in terms of timing, can't make the afternoon because parents working and that. So they can walk through in our new studio for the performing arts. They just walk through, their family is there, they get their picture taken, they get their diploma handed to them, they get all that part of it, they just don't have the ceremony around it.
Right.
So we have a number of students who take advantage of that. Then we have our nursing pinning ceremony. Then
Again,
we
a great ceremony.
flip it all again, and we start a ceremony at 4:30 and another one at 7 to get all of our students the opportunity to graduate. And it's more intimate and personal, which in some ways to me is who we are. That's who we are for our students from the day they walk on this campus. And so to end in a way that's much more intimate and personal to me seems fitting.
And I must say, Dr. Prosfeld, seeing you up on stage with your graduates walking by, and there's been some really spectacular moments. I'm sure you remember the gentleman who had the ecto suit on that he walked across the stage, and it was a moving ceremony, standing ovation for people. But it's every young person, and sometimes not young person, who walks across that stage. I can see the pride in your eyes and the admiration that you have for them for completing their work and getting their degree.
It doesn't get any better than that. And for many of the students, this will be the end of their higher education experience. For many, they'll be moving on. But one of the parts I love the most is the families.
Yes.
There's generations, and that's one of the things we love, is to be able to give enough tickets to students to bring as many members of their family as they would like to. A lot of our students have grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles, and it's just such a big deal. They may be the first one in their family to ever have gone to college, and just to watch that celebration and be part of it it's remarkable.
Well, Dr. Prosfeld, I want to thank you very much for taking the time out to do this. But I also want to thank your staff. Jamie Smith has been very extraordinarily helpful in helping put this together. And we're very happy to partner with SCF on a wide variety of things, not just graduations, but talks with your faculty and whatnot. But I want to give you a few moments to tell us what you would say to the community at large about the importance of SCF, the future of SCF, and why SCF continues to be such a vital part of our community.
Well, SCF has been part of this community for 65 years, and we have always been that place where people who want to continue their education, maybe they don't know where they want to go after that, but it's a place they can come to explore, or it's a place they can come to improve. We're here for the members of this community wherever they are, in whatever stage of life they're at. And that's who we want to be. That's who we're always going to be. And I think that's the value we bring. It's not just a niche that you graduate from high school, you go to college. That's not who we are. We're much greater than that. And we always will be, and we'll always be looking for ways in the future to do even more. How do we do more? As a matter of fact, we just partnered with a company called Fleet Force to bring a commercial driver's license onto our campus because there was a huge shortage of commercial drivers or truck drivers in our nation, actually, our state, and even in our region. And so said, okay, we can do this. We have land, we have parking lots that we can use, and we're graduating many, many students from that every year, and they're making a wonderful living.
That's great.
Yeah, and we're partnering with that also to say, hey, you know, we also have this entrepreneurism center. Maybe you can learn how to be an owner-operator, and we can help you develop a business plan, and we can teach you how to put your profiles together and everything you need to do to get funding, to get off the ground. So it's just a beautiful partnership all the way around. But those are the things we're always looking to do. That's the future.
One thing, if I may, just briefly, is that the State College is very oriented toward providing job-related training. So people can come out of the college and get into a job, a well-paying job, that's beneficial for them, and that's a critical part of the equation.
It is. It's about, I want to say 35% of what we do is that job ready, right in the workforce. But still, the majority of what we do is prepare those students who want to move on and transfer. And one of the cool things that's happening right now in the legislature is this idea of creating a specialized AA degree. What that means is there are certain degrees when students transfer that they don't get to transfer as juniors because at the universities the classes are arranged a little differently.
Right.
We have to do all the general ed to give them the AA degree, but maybe at that university they're taking more core courses in the lower division and put that general ed up above. So what we can do is create a specialized AA degree so an engineering student, for example, can get everything they need, including some of that advanced mathematics, so they can transfer in as a junior.
Very smart.
So engineering, science, music, those are the three that are probably going to be the first on the docket to figure out how we get students what they need in a little bit more than that 60 credit hours, so when they transfer their juniors, they can get done quicker, they're going to save money, and they'll be on their way. So we're really excited about that happening too.
Well, and I must say, Dr. Prosville, and your leadership and guidance with your staff and your faculty, SCF continues to move forward and develop, and there's so many exciting things on the horizon that'll be happening.
Well, there's a lot of noise. There's always a lot of noise, but we do one thing, and we say, is it the right thing for the students?
Yes.
And just focus on the students, everything else we can handle.
Well, Dr. Prosville, you are indeed for the students, and you have been under your tenure, and you'll continue to be. Again, thank you for taking time out from your very busy schedule to talk with us today, and it's always a pleasure to talk with you. And we want to thank you for joining us on this special edition of Up Close on METV.